Dou a Minha Palavra, um podcast e canal do YouTube da Algures para conhecer artistas. São conversas informais sobre a criação artística e a vida. Procura-nos em alguresalgures.pt.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here, Hilary, to share with us your incredible experience. We're going to start the interview asking you qual é a sua graça.
A minha graça, o meu graça é Hilary Chaplain, and my name in the hospital as a clown is Nurse Nice.
Oh, wow.
I thought about being Nurse Naughty, but that's more implied.
Okay. And who is Hilary Chaplain? Wow.
A great question. It's the age-old question. Who is? Well, today, Hilary Chaplain is I'm about to become a real grown-up because in the United States at 65, you can go on Medicare. So since the festival already put my age on the internet, I'm a clown who's been around for a long time, but I was a reluctant clown for a long time. It was not something I was interested in doing. I knew from the age of 10 I wanted to do theater and I wanted to be an actress. So now I do call myself a clown, but I am an actress. I'm a performer. I'm a creator of theater. And in some ways, I think I still am a reluctant clown because part of who I am as a clown is someone who wants to be taken seriously. And so, but I realized that that's what makes me funny because I try so hard to be taken seriously and I end up having difficulties of one sort or another and often find that I'm laughed at just for being me. So I realize, well, I'm in the right profession. I'm also a sister and an aunt and a girlfriend and a lover of food. That's why I can't wait to come to Portugal and have pastéis de nata and, and seafood. I'm a lover of experimentation and trying new things and playing.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I'm sure there are other things. There are probably a few other things that I am, but we'll stop there.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I will take pastéis de nata to you. It's a promise.
Yes, well, I'll have to try the best one every day.
Yes,
the best.
So I was asking you in my questions, when do you realize that you want to be an artist? But you already answered that one. So check. Okay.
Yes, but I wouldn't call myself a clown until after the year 2000 sometime, maybe around 2003, I finally said, okay, I'll do a clown show.
Yes.
Yeah. I was working as a clown for a long time before I started to really study what clown was and understand what clown was. And until that time, I didn't want to be called a clown. And still, I have to say, in the United States, when you say clown, people have a very different image of what they think I am if I say I'm a clown. And so I don't always use the word.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sad thing here.
Yeah, in one of your shows, Life in a Day, has won many awards. And I read... Sorry?
Please repeat.
Yes, your show, Life in Her Day
Yes.
has won many awards. And one of the reviews has said that you weren't just a clown, or you were more than a clown. Can you comment that?
Yeah. That is exactly the problem. Because was that an American reviewer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in America, we have a very narrow image of what a clown is. That a clown is like wah, wah, funny, squeaky nose, squirty flower, big shoes. And people don't understand that the art of the clown has the depth that it has. That clown includes all of who we are, to our deepest places, to our most private places and our most vulnerable places. And so for them to say that I'm more than a clown is really the opposite of what it is, because I think that when you're a really, really good clown, or when a really complete clown, that you're showing that you are so much of who you are, so much connected to the world, so connected to your audience.
Yeah. Here is sometimes we felt the same, that clowns are performers for the kids, and I think we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know any place where that's not true.
Okay. And you know a lot of places in the world, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, in Brazil, clowning is so strong that I think there might be more of a sense of it being for adults. In France, it might be. Well, I don't know. Well, certainly in Native American traditions, the clown is absolutely for the whole community.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I imagine there are more indigenous communities, old civilizations, where the clown is much more integrated in the ritual life of the community. And so they have a different understanding of it.
Yeah. And we know we're both working on this. So we know that each clown has her or his own language. So could you tell about yours? It's more physical, it's more...
Well, my clown is very physical. A lot of clowns are very verbal. I'm really not. When I create material, it's a physical language, much more than a verbal language. Even though the piece I'll perform in the festival is language based, but it's Shakespeare's words. They're not my words. And what I've done with that piece of Shakespeare is made it a very physical piece. It's all about who this woman is giving the speech. And we learn that through what happens to her physically. So my language as a clown is physical. My language is, I think, like many clowns, it's about overcoming obstacles. But I realized too that what helped me to understand that I was a clown was, in fact, working on this piece that I'll be performing, when I understood that for me to be a clown, it doesn't necessarily mean a red nose. Mm-hmm. This character has a very high status, and she tries so hard to maintain that high status, and things just keep going wrong. But it's so important for her to just keep going and to succeed at what she's trying to do. And I realized that a lot of what I do as a clown is about it's taking me down in status. It's this woman who thinks she is a high status person, but everything keeps just pulling her down. The rug keeps getting pulled from under her feet. Maybe you have that idiom. And then it's about her trying trying so hard to regain her dignity.
Yeah.
Which is
And
a very common clown theme.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. And how about your creative process? For instance, with these two rehearsals, one for music and for play music, and you have another kind of show like Bite Me, that is another approach to a new team. How does it works?
Well, I have another new show called The Last Rat of Theresienstadt, which is not really a clown show, but it is about a woman who was a Weimar cabaret comedian and singer during the 1930s and 40s in Berlin, or 20s and 30s, and then she ends up in a concentration camp. So I've created a character who is a comedian like me. If I had been born in Germany, perhaps this would have been who I was during that part of the century in that part of the world. And the way we went about creating that show, actually that show was inspired by a trip to that concentration camp, Theresienstadt in Czechoslovakia. And I thought about it. It was originally a show with another friend, another woman, and we were writing it with a man named Bob Berkey, who is a clown from the early days of clowning in the United States. He's a little older than I am. He's been a clown for a long time, and a writer and a director. And the three of us would improvise and come up with ideas. We had general idea of what we wanted the show to be about, and then we would say, okay, the two of them are listening at the door to the orchestra warming up, and then we'd just play with each other, or they're in their bedroom. They have certain obstacles. So that was a lot of improvising, and then a lot of sitting and writing, because there was dialogue and a lot of research. That show is very different now than what it was, but still the ensemble did a lot of research and a lot of conversation and a lot of improvisation on our feet with props, with the puppet, because there's a puppet in that show. The rat is a puppet. Now with Bite Me, we had a basic theme, and we started by lists. We made lists of ideas around that theme, going into different directions. What could, it's about being a woman, being a mature woman in the world, and being funny women, and trying to maintain or to rightfully have that place in the world as funny women, and to look at what's expected of women and what we think women really are, and to play with that as a theme. And we use Snow White as part of the one of the themes of the show, and we use toy theater and green screen, not for Zooming, not for streaming. So we've put everything aside for the moment. We'll start up again soon. But, and that too, it's like, okay, we get a little idea. Let's put these characters on stage and just play with each other. We have a piece of music. Let's make, let's see what happens if we just put on the piece of music and start moving with each other. So a lot of improvising. A lot of being bad, a lot of it just being bad, and saying, well, that's okay. I think you have to be bad in order to find the good. And then we pull out the little bits of what's good and see how we can develop that. And also with that show, we have a director who is brilliant, Aitor Basauri, who lives pretty close to where we're going to be, in the relatively speaking, in the world. Yeah, he's in Bilbao.
Wow. And when you start to work, things were quite more difficult to women than they are now. Well, we are walking digital. What were those challenges at that time? And can you compare for now? This is in comedy to women's and all these things that we see.
It is so great to hear you say that it's so different now. I think it is. It's taken it's taking a long time, but we are finally finding our ground and finding the respect that the male clowns get. They're just, when I first started out, part of why I didn't call myself a clown or didn't think I wanted to be a clown was because it was so male oriented, and I didn't see myself in what they were doing. I loved their work. I was just so enamored of them, but I thought, but that's not me. I knew Gardy Hutter at the time. I'd seen her work, and Julie Goel, Avner's wife. And I loved what they did, but I didn't want to be like them. So I just didn't know what my voice was. And when I started to figure that out and find what that was, I have to say, for me personally, I found that the better my work got, the more opportunities I had. I think I felt that people were surprised that I was funny, and people were surprised that I was as funny as I was. And men laughed at my work as much as women. But it was, there were times when I felt like I wasn't being looked at, being given the opportunity, because I was a woman. And when people would plan festivals, I would look and I'd say, it's all men. You know, what I know there are women out there doing this. And so I would badger a little bit. I would, that's a slang word. I would keep knocking on doors, let me in. And I felt like as I was given the opportunity to prove myself, I was able to move in there. Well, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, we did a big benefit for the Democratic Party back in 2008 in the United States, and trying to elect a Democratic president. And we did a big benefit, and we had all these top name American clowns. We had Kenny Raskin and Avner Eisenberg and Bob Berkey and Bill Irwin and Jeff Hoyle and Larry Pizzoni. And I was on the planning committee. I was like, guys, we need to have a woman. This is New York. This is the 2000s. We need to have a woman. And they finally let me do it. They decided that I could do a number. And Bill Irwin, quote, "She stole the evening."
So this is, I has one questions about the three most important events in your artistic life, and maybe this was one of them. Or
that's interesting. I've never been asked that question, and I would say you're probably right. That evening, in front of my colleagues, because all these guys had been my teachers.
Yeah.
That evening, they were my colleagues. And I always felt after that I am equal to them. So for sure, that's one. Let's see. Important events. Well, the moment when I finally said, because I was doing a show previous to A Life in Her Day with the same title that was about a woman who moves to New York who wants to be a clown, but who wants to be an actress, and she keeps getting work as a clown. And that's what the show was about. And people would say, well, it's great, but why don't you just do a clown show?
Yeah.
And finally, one day I said, okay, I'll do a clown show. And the show just it just kept falling into place. I kept taking out the parts that didn't belong in it. Bit by bit, I got rid of everything that didn't work in that show, and I made a clown show. So that is very significant. And also, I think the moment that I realized that when I did my Shakespeare number, the classically trained actress, I said, oh, that's who I am as a clown.
Yeah.
And then I could move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, great. And your when you came to Portugal, is not a high moment in your artistic life?
Oh my God. That's not only my artistic life. That's just the thing. Coming to Portugal, and I'll be there for 2 weeks, is a high point in my life, period.
Of course.
Yeah,
Indeed.
I've really been wanting to come spend time in Portugal. I've spent 8 hours there in between flights once, and that's all.
Oh, yes. We are very happy that you came. Yeah, really great.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm almost. I know. Yes, I have one question. A curiosity from me is about how are for you the 3 essential characteristics of for being humorous? The most for you, for your when you when you laugh, why you laugh?
Oh, do you mean what makes me laugh, or what I think are the important elements to performing humor?
The second one. Then I ask you the first one after.
The second one, oh, there's a cat here. Okay, so the most important elements about performing comedy is don't come out on stage thinking I'm going to make them laugh.
Yeah.
Come out on stage and take whatever you're doing seriously. You come out with a purpose, and that is to complete whatever task it is you're completing. We will find the comedy. The actor sets the clown up to do something difficult or impossible. And we see how the clown attempts to complete this task of whatever it is. And that can be a physical task. It can be an emotional task. It can be, it can be all kinds of things. So I don't know if that's 1 or 2. But that's
I think this is the 2 is for you.
And then also, people always say you have to know who you are to be a clown. And I thought, well, what does that mean? I know who I am. I grew up with me. I'm always me. But then I learned what that means is it's a practice of continually putting yourself in situations where you don't know what's going to happen, where you're improvising, you're playing, and you react honestly in the moment and see what that is. See if you react with anger, with frustration, with curiosity, with passion. You find out in the moment what your honest reaction is, and you know when you're lying, and you know when you're pretending. So it's learning how to not pretend, learning how to be honest. And well, there is another one, and also to open yourself up to your real emotions and your vulnerability, and that's hard. You know, we think we're there so much of the time.
Yeah.
But so it's a practice.
Yeah. And this is what we should hope, that you are going to work in the Bolina Festival with the students. No?
I hope so.
No?
I mean, we're working on physical comedy, but it's all from that point of view.
Yeah.
You know, it's about walking out to do your job as well as you can. It's about being honest in the moment of what your reaction is, and it's about being vulnerable and running into walls. It's about technique. It's about playing with hats. It's about playing with rhythm, about playing with how the body moves, but all with that as the absolute basis.
Yeah, of course. Okay, and we are almost finished. So, to conclude, I would like to ask you a few questions to quickly reply to. Okay? And hello.
Oh my God, you see that cat?
Yes, I'm seeing.
I've never seen him go up there. He wants to be in the. That's what he wants to be in the interview.
Yes.
Oh.
Hello. So the first one, how do you let your clown appear?
I'm not sure if that translates. How do I let my? Oh, I see. I think I see. As in the words of my acting teacher, Carol Fox Prescott, I take a breath, let the sound out, or let myself begin and have the most fun I've ever had in my life. Every time. When I'm in the hospital, I look in the eyes of whoever is there, whether it's the patient, the parents, a doctor, another clown. Look in the eyes and make the contact and let the play begin from an honest communication. When it's my show, I allow myself the mindset of I'm going to have the most fun possible and play. And I listen to the audience and I look at the audience and I open myself up to that connection, because most of what I do is immediate, is with the audience as a partner.
Yeah. So do you have any rituals?
You know, I do a physical warm-up, a movement warm-up, and I also do a breath warm-up where I'm aware. I find an awareness of my breath. I mean, right now I can go to my breath, and it means that I'm talking to you, but at the same time I'm aware that I'm breathing, and I'm aware that I don't change anything, but I just maintain an awareness of my breath. And when I maintain this awareness, I'm also opening myself up to all of the impulses that are coming in. And so I'm aware of what I want to do next. It's all kind of melded in there together. And so to maintain a free breath and stay aware of everything coming in and everything out there.
Wow. What advice would you give someone starting to work as a clown?
find the clowns that you love, watch their work, find the teachers that are helpful to you, take workshops. I'm a workshop junkie. I still take workshops. I'm in the middle of a workshop right now on Zoom, and this summer I'm going for a week at a place in Maine in the United States called the Celebration Barn Theater. I continually put myself in difficult situations, or in class, not difficult, but I allow myself the possibility of failure by being in class, by being in workshop, by playing with my friends. We have a regular weekly Zoom, and we just try things, and it's okay to be bad. And failure helps us move forward. Okay, that was interesting, but how can we make that better? And so you can never know enough as a clown. You're never finished, because we're always changing. So I say always allow yourself to the idea that there's more to learn.
Yeah. What are your references?
Sorry?
Your references? Which clowns?
Who inspires me? Well,
yes.
Certainly early on, I think, that from television, Lucille Ball. I don't know if you know who she is in Portugal. Do you?
No,
Oh my God. Okay, everybody, look up the show on YouTube. I Love Lucy.
Okay.
Lucy. I Love Lucy, with Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. She is probably the most influential on me. Carol Burnett, Imogen Coca. I mean, these are all American names of women who were not clowns, which is why I think they're my inspiration. When I started to do work as a clown, when I started to really appreciate the art, the Litsidye from Russia, that was Slava Polunin's. He was part of a group of maybe 20 clowns back in the 70s and 80s. They were Avner the Eccentric, Avner Eisenberg, Bill Irwin. These days, Spy Monkey is a group whose work I absolutely adore and has had a more current influence on me. Bite Me is directed by one of Spy Monkey people. Yeah, Bill Irwin and David Shiner together do wonderful work. And then I keep seeing women all over the world who are doing fabulous work. I can't begin to name them because there are so many. Gardy Hooker was my first, but in Brazil, there are so many brilliant women. Around me, I have some friends who do wonderful work. I mean, there are so many it's hard to name. I can't name them. Argentinian women, a lot of South Americans, and then French and English. And I can't wait to see the Portuguese clowns. I can't wait to see you guys. Ava, I met her in Brazil, and her work was just so creative and so wonderful, so silly, and so touching. So I can't wait to see what you guys are doing.
Yes, soon.
Oh my God, so soon. I can't believe the embassy is letting me come as an essential worker to play with clowns.
Great. Yeah. So what makes you laugh?
Yeah. Well, they say other people's tragedy is what makes us laugh, or tragedy plus time. And I think that's very true. I'm often told that people see a sadness in me, and I think, I don't know if it's still true or not, but I think that tragedy, it's the folly of life. I don't know if you'd be able to translate that word, but it's like life getting in our way, in a way, and the struggle to survive. When presented in a way, there's a difference between the tragedy and the comedy. And in fact, that's something we'll play with in class, is how can you do something? How can you hit your thumb with a hammer and make us worry about you? And how can you hit your thumb with a hammer and ow, make us laugh? It's the translation, the comedy. I think what makes me laugh is kind of the translation of tragedy into comedy, into something funny. Whether it's something about a physical accident, but it's always about who you are and your reaction, who you are in the world, who you are to another person. It's always in context. It's laughter and humor is absolutely contextual.
Yeah. And the last one, this is, what does your clown tell Hilary?
My clown tells Hilary that everyth's okay.
Oh, yeah.
And my clown tells Hilary, fuck it. It doesn't matter. You know, as I get older, and the clown has taught me that I don't have to worry about who I am.
You just,
I just am. I try, bit by bit. On my deathbed, there'll probably be more I could have, said, oh, what the hell about, but bit by bit, I don't care.
Oh, thank you.
And that said, I'm fixing my hair. It's like, do I look okay? These interviews on Zoom are so hard because I can see myself. And I do care, okay? I do care. But bit by bit, I care, but I'll put it out there.
Yeah. Your clown doesn't care.
My clown doesn't care. No, the clown doesn't care.
Just live. Just living and enjoying life. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I heartily thank you for this time that you gave to us, and I'm very, very, very much looking forward to meeting you in the Bolina. And wow, thanks again.
So am I. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm honored to have been interviewed. I'm so honored to have been invited, and I'm just so excited to come.
Yes,
so
it would be great.
Let's keep COVID. Let's keep being careful and make sure that we're all safe and we can be there.
Yes. So thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Okay.